Congressmen and senators have made a pretty good living talking about the fact that Washington is broken. For these transplants, D.C. is nothing more than a vacation home, an amusement park they go to pad their pockets on the lobbyist dime, to cut ribbons and play golf with world dignitaries. While they rail against our city, they use it as a stage on which to climb each session and spew empty rhetoric designed to lure voters into the theater of their corporate-sponsored and rosy America. The Southern forces who have controlled Washington over the last 16 years are running again as the party of anti-Washington. Again, they claim that the city is broken. Washington, D.C. is not broken. It is incomplete. Our culture, our economy, our prosperity, all tormented by an itch in our phantom limb. But now, as Northern Virginian resistance teeters on the precipice of collapse, there's an opportunity to remake our hometown, to build a city which will never again serve as the example of a corrupt and vacant system. Instead, together, we will build an example of the best which America can offer, a true capital for a reborn nation, ready again to lead the world not just by force, but by example, culturally, structurally, intellectually, and morally. America in the 21st century is about to be born. First, all current residents of Northern Virginia must be evacuated to newly designated refugee zones. The grotesque hives of consumerisms they call condos will be leveled, as will all of the disgusting laissez-faire sprawl which for too long has been the single largest obstacle to the shucking of the Victorian value set, still clinging to refuge in strip malls all throughout America's cities and towns. After this yuppie golf haven is flattened, it'll be remade into a useful part of the district. A competitive bidding process will begin whereby district individuals and small community groups will bid to control and operate the land. The best business models will be awarded contracts to turn new Washington West into a viable food and product producing center. Not only will our groceries be more fresh, but we will have used the tools of a true free market to separate the escalating cost of gasoline from our most essential products. Instead of letting oil companies and corporations dictate our politics, we'll use real policy to remove them from the process altogether. With essential supplies replenished, unrest in the city will be alleviated. Dependency upon Maryland's corporate invaders will be severed, and the huge business ventures corrupting our city can finally be pushed back into Silver Spring, never to return. As our rebuilt city grows and prospers, as it heals economically and socially, we can use the profits of our consumer-based system to finally provide proper funding for D.C.'s failing educational system. Like our rebuilt economy, our schools will no longer be an example of the horrible failures of government, but an example of the possibilities of innovation and the potential of a well-funded and comprehensive educational system. In the short term, there are those who will stand in our way. Well-trained establishment hacks, half-read ideologues, party-line and money-lined public voices, all sure to label our endeavor communism, socialism, republicanism, neoconservatism, liberalism. They're sure to rehash every non-Americanism their landlocked brains can scratch up out of a Google search. But these are just labels. And labels are just a shortcut, an easy path out for those unwilling or unable to confront the brilliance of our collective vision. For too long we have let labels cloud our thought and obscure our path. For too long we have been a nation concerned only with the short term. We have locked ourselves into a cycle of selling next week for the sake of tomorrow. For the citizens of Washington, this is a chance to move out of the shadows, to once again lead the country of which we are the heart, the brain, and the soul.